Welcome to Prime Business. My name is Winston Taki, and out of first business story. The Food and Beverages Association of Ghana is warning of possible increase in prices of goods on the market following the decision of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission (PURC) to increase electricity tariffs by 1.14% for all consumer categories effective October 1st, 2025. Speaking to Joy Business, Chairman of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, John Awuni, said businesses will be forced to pass on the cost to consumers in order to support the cost of doing business.
It's obviously going to lead to higher prices. Come first week of October, go to the Makola market, not only our food and beverage, but go to Makola, go to Madina, go to Malata. Tomato prices will go up, onion will go up. They will tell you that, oh, Oma to power, Oma to power, Oma to power. That's all what they will say. So essentially, the whole, in fact, businesses haven't recovered from the previous shocks of the happenings of the previous government. So if businesses are not trying to recover, more especially right now, we have the cedi depreciating against the major currency, particularly the dollar. These are losses that we are making. And so with this kind of losses, we expect that we don't expect any cost to come in again. And that is our challenge now.
Away from that, the Ministry of Finance has signed a debt restructuring bilateral agreement with the UK to unlock financing for key projects across the country, including the Big Push. The move is part of initiatives by the government to seek creditor support to improve the economic growth of the country. Minister of Finance, Dr. Atoforsen, believes that this will make way for more opportunities ahead. There is more in this report.
The agreement will see the resumption of 5 key projects identified as priorities by government with infrastructure investment of about 2.8 billion cedis for Ghana. The debt agreement will reduce financing pressures on the government so it can focus on some initiatives in the 2025 budget and economic program. Minister of Finance, Dr. Atoforsen, explains that this will restore the country to debt sustainability.
Today, we are taking steps to restructure debt in excess of 256 million United States dollars. Obviously, some are in GBP, Great British Pound, but equivalent of 256 million United States dollars. And this will unlock 5 major projects. The Bolgatanga Boko Palmakrom Road project, the modernization of the Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital, the Obichebi Lamte Interchange and the Auxiliary Works Project Phase 2, the construction of Phase 1 of the Tema Flower Road project, and the redevelopment and modernization of the Kumasi Central Market. We believe that after signing this agreement, this project will immediately begin. The government of Ghana will take steps to ensure that we do what we have to do from our side so that together we can begin the disbursement on these facilities.
On his part, His Majesty's Trade Commissioner to Africa, John Humphrey, assured that the UK will continue to be behind Ghana's development through its recently launched 24-hour economy and other key policies by the new government.
Restructuring this debt in partnership with the Paris Club and G20, we're creating the fiscal space Ghana needs to deliver on its bold vision for the future, including the 24-hour economy and the Big Push initiatives. And these are not just slogans, they're transformative agendas that will drive jobs, drive innovation, and create prosperity for millions of people.
Projects prioritized under the UK export finance are the Bolgatanga Road, Obichebi Lamte Interchange Phase 2, KJTR Market Phase 2, Tema Aflao Road Project, and Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital Maternity Project.
Now, the World Bank is warning Ghana to fast-track energy sector reforms or risk worsening the country's debt level. Division Director for Ghana, Robert Talisio, cautions that financial shortfalls in the energy sector could rise from $1.4 billion in 2024 to $2 billion by 2025, an estimated 2% of GDP. He made the remarks at the launch of the World Bank's 2025 policy note on transforming Ghana in a generation in Accra. The World Bank's growth policy notes Transforming Ghana in a Generation highlights that Ghana can achieve a generational transformation by implementing comprehensive policies and institutional reforms to boost productivity, enhance infrastructure services, and strengthen human capital workforce skills. World Bank Division Director for Ghana, Robert Talisio, urged government to accelerate policy reforms in key sectors such as energy.
Maintaining policy reforms, therefore, remains challenging, and risks will continue to escalate unless prompt, decisive action is taken. For example, further delays in the long-awaited reforms of the energy sector are risking the country's macro-financial sustainability. It costs the government approximately $1.4 billion in 2024 in transfers to cover the financial shortfalls in the energy sector. And these are projected to rise to about $2 billion by 2026. This is about 2% of GDP, which could otherwise be used for priority spending in health, education, or improving Ghana's road network. In this sense, every month of delay is extremely costly for the nation. We're deeply concerned about insufficient progress on these critical reforms.
He stressed that such reforms are critical to transforming the nation's economy.
The potential payoff is significant. Our research shows that with ambitious reforms, Ghana could more than triple per capita income by 2050, more than triple per capita income by 2050, moving it decisively toward upper middle income status. Government programs like the 24-hour economy and the Big Push offer an opportunity to catalyze ambitious reforms, to promote broad-based and resilient growth, job creation, and poverty reduction, if implemented well.
Lead economist at the World Bank, Stefano Keto, also called for greater efficiency and transparency in the energy sector.
Energy, both in terms of technical and commercial losses, to be sustainable, energy needs to be paid, and at the moment, with about only 2/3 of the energy produced paid, it's very difficult to make the sector sustainable.
The policy note further underscores the urgent need for reform, warning that Ghana must break from a history of fiscal indiscipline, inefficiency, and repeated IMF bailouts if it is to secure sustainable growth and development. Now, the Deputy Minister for Transport, Dorcas Afotofe, has told the Regional Maritime University, the PSC Tema Shipyard, and the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority the move is part of an effort to acquaint herself with operations at some of the agencies under her ministry. Here is more from this report. The visit commenced at the Regional Maritime University, where Deputy Minister for Transport, Dorcas Afotofe, was welcomed with a Guard of Honor parade. In her remarks, she emphasized the university's pivotal role in supporting Ghana's emerging 24-hour economy.
The Regional Maritime University, per your mandate of training manpower in the area of seafarers, very much aligns with His Excellency the President's vision. This university is therefore strategically placed to play a key role in the 24-hour economy by training maritime seafarers to boost the country's human resource base, particularly in the maritime industry. The next stop was the PSC Tema Shipyard, established in 1964 by Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The CEO of the shipyard lamented the lack of investment since its inception and appealed for renewed support. In her response, Madame Afotofe pledged to ensure the company received the necessary attention and backing to revitalize its operations. The information that has been given and the opportunities available, it's numerous. And so as a deputy minister, I'm going to, of course, go back to my minister and we'll both sit and see how best we can support them with the necessary help that they need to be able to bring back the glory of this place, because from 1970, when this place was commissioned, nothing has been done. And we can all tell from the opportunities here, it would generate income for the state. It would also help in a job creation for our youth. Her final visit was to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, where she outlined strategic measures being implemented to ensure the competitiveness of Ghana's ports. Excessive charges and crippling demurrage penalties, which is very, very important, and it's a problem to all of us and as a country. I hear a lot of complaints. Even me coming to office not too long, that is the areas people have been talking about. But thankfully, our president, who is working so hard at that, we are all looking into that. So hopefully something will be done about it soon.
The Deputy Minister's tour was part of a broader initiative to familiarize herself with operations of agencies under the Ministry of Transport. The Chief Executive of PSC Tema Shipyard, Sulemana, has appealed to government for investment to develop the Tema Dry Dock Shipyard. The facility, which services vessels, has seen little development after it was built by Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Explaining the challenges faced by the company to the Deputy Minister for Transport, Dorcas Afotofe, who was on familiarization tour, Mr. Sulemana noted that the company could rake in significant revenue for government.
We start the entire value chain of shipyard. Maybe perhaps we should be looking at close to about 50 million US dollars. That is if you want to totally revamp in the entire value chain. But what we are operating now is not all entirely about the money, but it requires a lot of strategy and planning. I don't want to, because based on that I'm mentioning these particular figures, but we did a budgetary cost, and the budgetary that we did was only looking at the existing infrastructure. But if you want to modernize the shipyard itself, will require more than what I've been spoken. And I believe that at that particular time, Nkrumah's idea was ahead of his generation. Now there is innovations in appropriate shipyard. So we will not just say what was existing is what we are looking at. Do you understand what I mean? A whole lot of this have to be. And we'll be visiting some other very important shipyard across the globe to be able to have first-hand information on what can be done. So my inputs will just be maybe trying to refit what is the existing strategy to be. But to be honest with you, with the current technology, with the current distance, we have to do more feasibility studies to come out with the appropriate cost.
Hyundai Motors and Investment Ghana Limited has officially launched the all-new 2026 Hyundai Palisade, marking a major step in the brand's commitment to delivering world-class vehicles and supporting the Ghanaian economy. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch event in Accra, country manager Ganesh Fadale said the new addition reinforces Hyundai's strategy of providing advanced mobility solutions while creating opportunities for the local automotive industry.
The 2026 Hyundai Palisade is the latest version of the company's flagship SUV, arriving with a bold new design, improved comfort, and cutting-edge technology. It comes with both a 3.5-liter VC engine and, for the first time, a hybrid option that combines a turbocharged 2.5-liter engine with electric power for greater fuel efficiency.
The Hyundai is always innovative. They always keep changing their models according to the customer demands and the market demand. And as I mentioned that Hyundai always change their models every 4 years. As you say that we've seen that Santa Fe changed last year after 4 years. This is the third generation of Palisade. The Palisade second generation came 4 years ago. Now this 2026 is the third generation. So this is according to the market demand. Hyundai always change cars. Model.
With seating for up to 8 passengers, the Palisade is designed for large families and professionals seeking extra space. Passengers benefit from ventilated and heated seat, multiple USB charging port in every row and premium interior that includes dual 12.3-inch curved displays for infotainment and driving information.
Now, away from that, in farming, the work doesn't stop at harvest. For many smallholder farmers in Ghana, threshing, separating grain from the stalk is still a slow and tiring process made by hand. But at Legacy Crop Improvement Center at Otares, so things are changing. In this episode of the Joy Business Van, we catch up with the founder and CEO, Amos Rutherford Azinu, as he introduces machines that transform how harvesting is done on multi-crop thresher.
In farming, timing is everything, especially after the harvest. For too long, farmers watched their hard-earned grain spoil or get lost in the chaos of poor handling. But the change is taking root. After revolutionizing threshing with a machine that cuts labor and boosts efficiency, Legacy Crop Improvement Center is now turning its focus to what comes next, preserving the grain, protecting farmer profits, and pushing the post-harvest conversation forward. Last episode, we heard how Legacy Crop Improvement Center has rolled out a multi-crop thresher to boost post-harvest efficiency, cutting down labor, reducing grain loss, and saving farmers valuable time. But threshing is just the beginning. Once the grain is separated, the next big challenge is keeping it safe from pests, moisture, and spoilage. Amos Rutherford Azunu is founder and CEO of Legacy Crop Improvement Center.
So from the threshing, you see that the thresher is able to remove the husk and the cob out of it, and we get the kernel. But the kernel came with some foreign materials. At the same time, the moisture level is high. So assuming the farmer want to store this thing, it's impossible for the farmers to store for a long time because it's going to get mold in the packaging material. So the essence of this machine, as we call it, the dryer, is to be able to remove the higher amount of the moisture from this maize to keep it at a acceptable level that we can store it for a longer period of time. So this is the gas dryer. It takes 4,000 kilo per load. We are looking at the moisture level at around 12%, so that we can now remove it from it. So we are going to use two energy, that's the gas and the ECG. The gas is the one we are using to set the fire under it. Then the ECG is actually powering the fan that blows the hot air under it over time. Then between 4 to 6 hours, we should be able to get to the right moisture level that we are looking for longer storage.
Next is grading, which determines the value of a harvest. It's how farmers produce grain that meets market standards and earns higher prices.
From here, you can see there are other foreign materials in it, and the maize is not even distributed. There are bigger one, the bulky one. So from here, we are sending it to the cleaner, which is going to remove all these foreign materials from it and put the maize in classes. The big one, the medium, the broken, and the chaff, everything. From there, we can do the bagging, the weighing and the bagging. Then when the farmer wants to store it, then we can store it for the warehouse. Around the thresher, you see there's an open space there. If it's a grain for consumption, we keep it for there, give you the agreement letter. When you are ready, you bring your agreement letter, then you come and take your maize.
It just doesn't end there.
If you, at the end of the day, you say, oh, connect me to the market. Maybe you, for instance, you have 1,000 bags on this year. You are in Accra. You don't want to be looking for market women. That's our job. We'll go and look for the women and who want to pay the price you want. Once you get the money, then you give us 3% of that cost for commission. So that's the work we are going to do for you.
So how efficient is this system?
If you are in the northern part of Ghana, where we are doing the harvesting at the time of November, December, naturally God will dry it for you because the harmattan have set in. But if you happen to find yourself in this our jurisdiction, then you don't have option. We have to dry it, especially when we do the major season production. This is very efficient because, as I said, we are losing 30% of our produce to post-harvest. And if you don't do that, right, you keep this maize, the amount of moisture in it, in the next 2 weeks it gets mold. When it gets mold too and you consume it, it leads to cancer and as a result of aflatoxin that the maize has in it. So this is very efficient because, but it's also a little bit cost to the farmer now because the farmer has to pay for the service, which is 50 pesos per kilo that we are charging for drying. But if the farmer is drying per the sun, it's free. God giving energy. The farmer doesn't need to pay. But this is also going to help you to preserve your goods. As I said, agriculture is a business. It's no more hobby.
For Amos and his team at Legacy Crop Improvement Center, the mission is clear: to give farmers control over the entire post-harvest process from field to market.
This is going to help a lot of farmers to store their grains for a long time and actually have a good market value. You know, during the harvesting, everybody is harvesting, so there are a lot of goods in the market space competing for the same customers. So some should be able to store theirs for lean season, which actually call for higher price when they are selling. But without this process, it is very difficult for a farmer to do that. With this, as I said, between 4 to 6 hours, this will be dry, properly dry. But assuming you are drying under the sun, and the sun is not coming where as expected, it can take you a number of days, and you are not guaranteed of the quality. It may, some of them may get molding and all those things. So if you look at where we come from, the threshing process, if you are using human beings to do that kind of work, maybe let's say 10 bags in a day, it would be very difficult for a lot of people to do. But the machine can do, and the machine doesn't get sick. Like, you know, issue with labor these days, when you're talking to people, oh, I have a funeral, I have engagement here, there. But you avoid all those things by mechanizing the process.
From threshing to grading, farmers are now better equipped to protect the value of their harvest and take charge of their incomes. With support from Legacy Crop Improvement Center, what was once a vulnerable stage in the farming cycle is becoming a season of opportunity.
That's all for business here on Prime Business. My name is Winston Taki. Thanks for watching. Up next is Prime Sports.